Okay, so you sent us some really interesting text to dive into today.
Mm-hmm.
It explores one of those really deep human puzzles, the kind that feels almost impossible
Yeah,
sometimes. It
absolutely.
really zeroes in on this paradox.
Right.
How do you possibly let go of something when, well, holding on feels like it's killing you,
Right.
but letting go feels like it might, I don't know, kill you even faster?
It's a tough spot, a really tough spot.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder, why do we seem to hold on tightest to the things that maybe aren't really meant for us or aren't supposed to stay?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
So our mission here in this deep dive is to really unpack what this source material is saying about that tendency, and maybe, just maybe, what the alternative looks like.
It's a great place to start because I think, honestly, we've all felt that pull, you know?
Oh, definitely.
That desire for something that maybe deep down feels wrong or just unsustainable.
Right.
And the text gets right to the heart of it, suggesting we hold on so desperately, often because we sense it isn't truly ours.
Ah,
Like we're trying to make something real that maybe only exists as an idea in our heads.
right, yeah. The source talks about trying to almost like conjure up validation or love we think we're
Yeah,
missing.
exactly.
Like trying to prove something that should just be inherent.
Yeah.
And the only way to keep that proof, that sort of fragile idea going, is to just grip tighter and tighter.
And this is where the source offers, I think, a really sharp insight.
Okay.
It makes this distinction, right, between grasping onto an idea, a mental picture of how things should be,
Mm-hmm.
versus experiencing something that actually is.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because if all you have is the idea, well, holding on is the only thing you can do to keep it alive, you know?
Yeah, I see that.
The text points out that letting go in those cases, it isn't really about giving permission for something to leave. It's often just recognizing, maybe painfully, that it's already gone. Or at least the way you desperately wanted it to be is gone.
Wow, that's a huge distinction. What really struck me was how the source contrasts that struggle, that grasping, with things that are aligned with you,
Mm-hmm.
things that are meant to sort of flow through you. It says those things don't need that constant mental latching on.
No forcing involved.
No forcing, no ultimatums to make them happen. You're not like agonizing for months or years wondering if it's real or if you're the problem.
Exactly. The text is pretty clear. The real pain often doesn't come from love itself or the experience, but from the attachment we have.
Attachment to the idea.
Yes, the attachment to the idea of what you think it should be. You know, the source argues that real happiness, real connection means releasing that rigid blueprint, that desperate expectation of, no, it has to look exactly like this.
And that really reframes a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like the text seems to push back on the idea that how much you suffer proves how much you love.
Right. Or that proving your character means you have to convince everyone you're doing the quote-unquote right thing.
Yeah.
It sees these moments, these relationships, not as things to tick off a list, but as experiences. Experiences we're meant to pass through and let them pass through us.
Some quick, some long.
Some quick, some maybe lasting a lifetime, but their value isn't just about how long they stick around.
So, okay, if
Yeah.
holding on comes from grasping an idea
Mm-hmm.
and the pain is from attaching to that idea, what does the source say about the things that are meant for us?
Hmm.
What does that feel like according to this text?
Well, the text suggests these are the things that push you inward.
Inward, how so?
They challenge you to stop looking outside for validation, you know, and instead to start cultivating your own sort of inner light. These experiences, and they could be challenging, joyful, beautiful, even agonizing.
Right.
They share one key thing, according to the source.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend all this energy thinking about them or forcing them or holding them tight to make them real.
Yeah.
They just are. There's an effortlessness in the grip itself, even if the journey itself is hard.
That makes so much sense connecting back to the start. That pain we talked about often comes from that desperate clench, trying to mold something into the idea of what we think it should be.
Instead of just experiencing what's happening or what's meant to flow through you without fighting it.
Yeah.
And, you know, the text leaves us with a truly profound thought to sit with.
Okay.
It's this reminder that, well, nothing here lasts. Nothing is permanent. The idea that anything lasts forever or that we can truly own things indefinitely. The text presents that as an illusion.
It's quite a thought.
Yeah. It says eventually we lose everything. Every single thing we have, every part of who we are, everything we own.
So consider what that means for where you choose to put your energy. Is it into desperately holding on to an idea?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe into experiencing what is actually flowing through you right now? It's
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a powerful question the source leaves us with.